Live from CBS4 studios in Denver, this is Xfinity Monday Live. Brought to you by Xfinity, making it easy to access all your sports and entertainment on any screen, at home and on the go. Now, your host, Michael Spencer.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome into Xfinity Monday Live. Glad to have you with us on what has been a busy Sports Monday here in Colorado. The Nuggets and Avs already big winners today, and we're excited to chat for the next 30 minutes with CU head coach Karl Dorrell. Of course, a lot of college football news over the past couple of weeks. Coach, how are you? Glad to have you with us.
Glad to be here, Michael. Appreciate you having me on.
So I want to get your reaction to the Pac-12 decision to postpone all fall sports until January 1st. That, of course, includes football season. What did you make of that decision by the conference?
You know, I would just say it was a difficult decision. We probably, as coaches, felt that it was coming just because of the information that led to it prior to the decision, the day where it happened. You know, we had such strong protocols in our conference that, you know, actually were among the leaders in the country, you know, with you know, dealing with this pandemic and the research and everything that's involved with it. And, you know, our doctors from all of our institutions in the Pac-12, you know, we had a big meeting about 2 days prior to the announcement, and they went through a lot of different graphs, a lot of different you know, different stages of how things were, you know, when the onset of this disease started, you know, way back when we all left our campuses in March to the present day of the end of August. And there were some positive trends along the way, but then there were some trends that weren't so positive that occurred over the summer. And so the biggest issues that I think we dealt with as a conference was the California schools were in much tougher shape from terms of their community footprint of handling the pandemic, where here in Colorado was much better. We've done, you know, matter of fact, my team and, you know, our program and, you know, Rick George and our efforts at the University of Colorado, we've done such a tremendous job with educating all of our student athletes to being a little bit more mindful of the process and understand the new normal. And our guys have really taken a really good stance with handling that. And our numbers have gone way down. Matter of fact, we had a big test, you know, last week on Thursday, and they all came back negative again. So I'm very pleased with where the status of our program is. But the problem was, you know, we had a good handful of schools in our conference that were not in so good a shape. Both from a community standpoint, they were not even on campus yet, where we were actually training and doing walkthroughs and things like that here in Colorado. There were some programs that weren't even in the building yet. So I think it was more given the status of everyone in the conference, it was just tough to create that start of being in September. So they went to a decision to postpone it until the 1st of January.
So, Coach,
I'm a little bit. I wish we could have just pushed it back a little bit more. You know, and not make that call so soon. But I think they did what was best, given the information that the doctors and the panel that we talked to. There were some serious issues. You know, there's the myocarditis issue with the heart issue with that has occurred in some of these cases that, you know, you don't want to take lightly. So, you know, the bottom line, we want to take care of our student athletes as best we can. We don't want to put them in harm's way. And so we made a decision that I think was just more conducive for the whole conference.
So, Coach, what does it mean for the Pac-12 and the Big Ten, who have already decided to postpone fall football, if the other Power 5 conferences, the ACC, the SEC, and the Big 12, decide to go on with their seasons? What will that mean for you and your program?
Well, you know, we're kind of watching with you know, careful eyes right now, just to see how they're getting ready to start camps and get into practices. We're curious as to how they're going to handle, you know, the pandemic, you know, in terms of some issues that come up, and is this something that can be isolated and be controlled? And, you know, so I'm actually looking forward to seeing, you know, how they respond with some of these things that could occur. because maybe it's an avenue for us to possibly rethink our situation.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But, I'm curious to see how their camps go, how they're able to manage their numbers in terms of their healthy numbers versus some of them that get infected. So we're all on high alert, just going to watch and see what develops. But I'm hoping for the best, to be honest with you,
Well,
because that might help us. At some timeline of maybe moving up our situation a little bit sooner.
I was going to say, I think everybody's hoping for the best and crossing their fingers that eventually college football will be returning to normal. Karl Dorrell, our guest tonight here on Xfinity Monday Live, brought to you by Xfinity. Get the speed, coverage, and control you need with Xfinity X1. Xfinity, the future of awesome. Stick around, more of the landscape of college football with first-year CU head coach Karl Dorrell when we come back.
This is Xfinity Monday Live.
Welcome back to Xfinity Monday Live, chatting with first-year CU head coach Karl Dorrell, our guest tonight. Now, Coach, your seniors on your squad have some interesting decisions to make. Guys like K.D. Nixon, Nate Landman, Mustafa Johnson. There are some seniors who have decided to forego their senior season now that football has been postponed to the spring. We saw that with Warren Jackson at CSU yesterday. What have those conversations with your seniors been like as they kind of navigate these uncharted waters?
It's a great question, Michael, and we had a brief conversation on Friday last week, and I told the seniors this. I said, first of all, we're not playing this fall. That doesn't mean you lost anything. You can still play sometime in 2021. So that's a positive. Now, we all have their own individual cases as to, what should I do in terms of opting out, or should I wait until next fall, or do I play in the spring? Those are all options for our seniors. I'm still waiting back from the NCAA because I want to see if a senior does opt out for a spring schedule, could they play in the fall? And they didn't have an answer for me on that yet. So that was one of those things that I posed to them about, they want to play. They want to play. There's no question they want to play. They want to do what's best for their careers long-term as well, but they want to play. I think when I get that answer from the NCAA sometime this week in terms of that option, if there is an option of bypassing the spring session for the fall, that might create a little easier avenue for those guys. But here's a Nate Landman, right? All conference last year, had a number of tackles where he's led our team in tackles for 3 straight years. He has some good tape, out there. So, he's a guy that, I'm sure is contemplating, the thought of maybe foregoing. But, I just told both, he and Mustafa and KD, I said, we have plenty of time here to kind of sort through the tea leaves, so to speak, and just, read the horizon a little bit better. But we have probably until November to figure out, what's the best plan for you guys.
No rush, obviously.
I know they all want to play.
Yeah.
They all want to play, though.
Yeah, obviously some big decisions to make for those guys. Hey, Karl, have you had a chance to just sit back and take a breath in the last 5 months? Because I don't imagine that you expected this to be the way you came in to CU, given the way you were hired and given that everything that has happened since you were hired.
No, I don't think I could have dreamt this up or made this up in terms of what's happened these last 5 months, Michael. But, I'm still on cloud 9 being here, though. As much as we've been through a lot of stuff, in terms of, 3 weeks after I was hired, the whole campus was empty and everybody was sent home, and you finished the semester off, at your home. And, there was a struggle in there a little bit with our players with, whether they had Wi-Fi or iPads or computers and stuff like that. So just the logistics of getting all the stuff that they needed for all the Zoom stuff that they, were encountering. My first time on Zoom, that was in March, and I had no idea how this thing works, right? Shoot, I'm an expert now. So, we Zoomed them up as much as we could, for the last 5 months. And, the one thing I am very, very pleased of, Michael, is this team is very resilient. I'm so excited about how they handled everything. Me being new, getting kicked off campus, finishing the semester, one of our best semesters ever. We had over a 3.2 something team average GPA, over the spring semester. And then we had a good summer. We had some guys we had some COVID tests that were positive early on because they were at home and didn't really understand how that works, and then educating them on the social policy and the mask and the 6-foot distancing and hygiene. And so we've had a lot of stuff that our team has had to overcome. And they've overcome it all in flying colors.
You're going to have quite the story to write by the time that you get to your first game, and then once your time at CU is over, and hopefully that's not anytime soon. Karl Dorrell, our guest tonight on Xfinity Monday Live. Plenty more to come as we chat with CU's head football coach. But first, we're going to get you over to the other side of the studio, and Jim Benjamin. Hey, Jim. All right, Jim, thanks so much hanging out with CU head coach Karl Dorrell. Time now for our questions from the crowd segment, brought to you by Stevenson Automotive. Coach, up first, Chris wants to know, what's your go-to candy?
Go-to candy. I like Skittles.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife eats chocolate. I eat candy, so I'll say Skittles.
Hard to argue with tasting the rainbow. Karen wants to know, hot dogs or hamburgers? What's on the grill?
Hamburgers,
Deal.
for sure.
Easy.
Yeah.
Ryan wants to know, what are you watching more of, the NBA playoffs or the NHL playoffs?
Probably the NHL right now. I was a huge Avs fan. The last time I lived here in Denver, when I was working with the Broncos in 2001 through 2003, we had some playoff teams. So Joe Sakic, all those guys. So I kind of came back. I'm new to the scene, but I'm back checking out the Avs again, and they're doing well.
Yeah, it's a good time to recheck out what the Avs are doing. They scored a touchdown today in a 7-1 victory over the Arizona Coyotes. Hey, that's been questioned. Yeah, that's impressive, right? Anytime you can put up a touchdown on the ice, that's good stuff. Hey, that was this week's Questions from the Crowd, brought to you by Stevenson Automotive. See the 2020 Porsche Cayenne Coupe at the all-new Stevenson dealership, Porsche Littleton, back home at 5500 South Broadway. Stick around when we come back. More of our guest's legacy at CU and what he learned from his first time in Boulder. That's next.
You're watching Xfinity Monday Live.
Hey, we want to remind you, all 4 View House locations are now open daily. You can visit them Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 12 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, they open early, 10 a.m. until midnight. Go out and see the good folks at the View House. Monday Live brought to you by Xfinity TV. Get live sports scores and stats right on your TV with Xfinity X1. That's coming in handy these days. Xfinity, the future of awesome. Back here with CU head coach Karl Dorrell. Coach, I want to ask you about Coach Bill McCartney and your time with him, and what you remember most about working with him and what you still take today from those experiences.
First of all, he's a great man. He gave me my first full-time Division I job, so I was really excited to work for him. I came in here in 1992 as a wide receiver coach, and we had a very talented football team. He was so, what I took from him is that not only was he a great man of character and faith, he was so passionate for young people. And he had a great way of motivating not only his football players, but I would just remember as a staff member listening to his pregame talks. And I mean, I was ready to play a lot of the time, and I'm not even playing. It's like I'm coaching these guys, but I was ready to play. He just had such a charisma about touching the right buttons and getting his teams to play hard and play well. So I had nothing but great memories for him. When I was at UCLA as a head coach, I had him come out and return the favor for
that's cool.
Because I ended up being a head coach at that point in time. He came out and visited with our team. Again, very passionate with his message. He's just an old-time great, I say, old school football coach.
Yeah.
And does it take any shortcuts, does it the right way, and treats the players like they're golden. And that's what I respect and remember the most about him.
A great guy, and a lot of people have a lot of great things to say about Coach Mack. Hey, Coach, this was a great visit. I really, really enjoyed doing this. Hopefully we can do it again when we have some football games to talk about, when the Buffs are sitting at maybe 6-0 or 7-0 sometime in the near future, all right?
I like that, Michael. I like that, baby.
Hey, that's going to do it for us here on Xfinity Monday Live. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great evening.
Our studios in Denver. This has been Xfinity Monday Live, brought to you by Xfinity TV. Stream fast, watch better. Enjoy your favorites on any screen with Xfinity.